You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Howdy do, buckaroos, and welcome to Comics with My Kids podcast, the official podcast for the comicscornerbox.blogspot.com. I am your host, Matt D., and with me today is...
Logan D.
Well, listeners, this is our first episode for the Summer Reading Promotion, or the SRP, as we like to say it here at the Down Studio.
That's right, Dad. And for our first book in our SRP, we will be reading Hilo Book 9, Gina and the Last City.
Okay, Logan, can you tell us a little bit of a brief recap of the last book?
Sure thing. The last book can be heard in episode 50 of our podcast, but if you don't want to pause this and go back to and listen, then you could just keep listening. Gina broke the world, and now it's full of magic that apparently has been here for thousands of years. So to fix it, she goes on a journey with Hilo, Polly, Pip, and DJ's sister Lisa. They must track down the source of the magic and lock it all back up, avoiding the magical creatures, a crazy monarchy, and magical policemen. In their search, they come across a figure from Gina's past, her great-great-grandma, Reggie.
Okay, Logan, so can you give us a brief summary of this book? And don't worry about spoilers. Part of our SRP is that we will dive into more detailed parts of the book. Just don't give away the ending, okay?
Okay.
We should leave the ending for the reader to experience on their own.
So, the book starts off with Gina talking to her grandma, and then it shows them like going through their different adventures. And it starts off, Hilo gets captured, but the people are trying to get Hilo to talk, but he keeps saying that he won't and says funny things.
Which people?
The monarchy.
Oh, okay. Do you remember the names of the monarchy?
No.
The brother and sister?
No, I don't.
Well, what can you tell me about the character of Regina? Or Reggie, I'm sorry.
So Reggie is called the Lock, and she's the thing that prevents magic from coming to Earth.
Oh, okay. So she was kind of the key into keeping the magic away years before?
Yeah.
What was the big adventure about? Because so Hilo gets kidnapped or captured. What happens to the rest of the crew? What's going on while Hilo's like locked up?
They're learning about the Lock and what she does, and then they get attacked by some guys who attacked them in a previous book.
Oh, the giant rock monster guys?
No.
No? Was it those magical creatures from the bar?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because wasn't one of them kind of Viking kind of guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wasn't there like a creature or some kind of a fight that Polly got involved with?
That was this fight.
Oh, okay. So what happened to Polly? What was the interesting thing that they did to have her fight in the battle?
There was a different battle they fought. They fought against the royal family. What was funny is the grandma was going to power up one of them. The grandma said, Gina, who is the best fighter besides you? She's like, what? I'm not the best. Gina, who is the best fighter besides you? And then Gina says Polly. DJ says Polly. Pip says me. And so everybody says Polly except for Pip. Pip says me.
Yeah.
And so they make Polly big.
Right. And so she's fighting this giant creature that looks a little bit like
kind of looks like a turtle without a shell.
Yeah, like a turtle without a shell, or maybe like a little bit of like a whale with some legs. But yeah, we get a lot of cool polyisms in there, don't we?
Yeah, and Pip also helps up because like while Polly was fighting the big guy, the Royals were still shooting at them, so Pip was covering them.
Gotcha.
He was deflecting all the bullets back at them.
Nice. How did the royal family know where to find the crew?
I can't remember.
You can't remember. The book's right in front of you. Take a few seconds. Was the royal family still chasing them from the previous book?
Yeah. They were chasing HIlo because he was...
1 second, I'm just going to push the microphone a little closer.
They were chasing HIlo because he was already in the castle, but their magic spells didn't work on him.
Oh, okay.
And so he nearly escaped, but the one girl didn't use magic spells. She just caught him.
HIlo's been captured. He's in the dungeon. What do we learn about HIlo?
That he can talk to Izzy because the thing that she put on him hit her in his mind, so he can talk to her.
Gotcha. So she kind of like downloaded her brain into him?
Yeah.
So what do we learn about him talking to Izzy?
That he's the only one that can see or hear her.
Yeah. And it kind of makes causes a funny situation when the guard comes in and says, "Who are you talking to?"
No, it wasn't the guard, it was the princess.
Oh, right, the princess. So HIlo tends to be chock full of jokes. Can you tell us any of the really cool jokes that you liked in the book?
I don't think he had any good jokes.
Well,
although what was funny is before Reggie threw 2 things back in the portal to send them where they came from, she said, "You 2 are triplets, 3rd level mutant demons, right?" And then one said, "Yeah." And then she said, You all have 6 arms." He's like, "Yeah." And then she said, "You're supposed to have 7." And the other guy's like, "Aw, nuts." Well, how would a 7th leg fit?
Well, I don't know. So, what else can you tell us about the actual story? How does HIlo get out of the castle? Does he get out of the castle?
If I remember correctly, he makes friends with the princess, and she lets him out.
Oh, okay. Pretty good moral that you can make friends with anybody.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Oh wait, no. DJ comes to save him.
Okay, that's a huge difference with HIlo.
Yeah.
So how does DJ save him?
Well, there's no guards around, and it's only the princess there, and so DJ, his sister, and Pipe all come in dressed up, and...
Who's Pipe?
Pip.
Okay.
And they come in, and they just take him by force.
Oh, yeah? So is there any cool phrases that Pip says in the book? I always liked some of the stuff that Pip says.
Let me see. No.
Okay. What about when he's battling with Polly, giant-sized Polly, making a shield?
She said Pip cover us, and he just said ahoy and started blocking them.
Oh, okay.
And what was funny is when Polly was fighting, Polly got on the turtle thing and was whacking as she talked, and she went, "You fight as bad as you smell." Hitting him every time she said a different word.
Nice. So is there any other jokes that you want to point out in the book that you liked?
I think it's kind of funny how she got turned into a tree.
Who got turned into a tree?
Reggie.
Who's Reggie? You mean Reggie?
Yeah, Reggie. And what was funny is there was a purple flying pig.
Purple flying pig?
Mm-hmm.
What does that do in the story?
That's what they do to ride, or that's how they get to the castle, because the castle's a floating island. That's how they go save HIlo.
Oh, okay, cool.
They ride a purple flying pig.
Nice. Well, did we learn anything more about the Nestors or how magic was released into the world?
At some point, there's something about magic.
Can you shed a little light on that?
It's when they went back through time, they landed in Mayhem, they said.
Wait. Who went back in time?
The Nestors.
Okay, and then what's this Mayhem thing?
It's what they call the city. And then, you know how some creatures grab onto them and use their powers?
Okay, yeah, because the Nestors were magical creatures that were kind of like batteries, and other magical entities could use them as a source of power. The
city grabbed onto them.
Now, was the city from Earth, or the city was part of their planet?
Part of
dimension?
It was part of their... It was the lock. It was the place, but it was kind of like kind of like a void. When you travel through a portal, you could end up there, and that's where like a lot of monsters are. Yeah. And then when the city used the nesters, magic returned to Earth.
Ah, I see. So they broke the lock.
Yeah.
So do we have any ideas how they could like close the lock again and get rid of all the magic?
Yes, but I think we should save that from the end.
Okay. Any other cool creatures or cool characters we get to see this time around?
Besides, there was a flying pig, which I already mentioned.
Right. Any new characters we get to learn about?
No new characters, really.
Okay. Now, in the last book, book 8, we saw that DJ's family was gone. Gina's family gets arrested. Do we get a resolution to that?
They don't bring it back to the world. They have to bring the world back to normal in order for them to see it.
Who to see it?
They have to bring it back. They have to bring the world back to normal in order for DJ and his sister to see their parents.
Oh, okay, I see. Gotcha. And that's still something that we want to save for. Is that something that's going to be in the next book, or is that something we need to save and be quiet for the reader to find out?
Save and be quiet.
Okay. All right. Well, is there any last things you want to mention about HIlo? And I'm sorry, it's HIlo Book 9, Gina and the Last City. Why is it called the Last City, by the way?
I don't actually know. I mean, the place is called the city.
Right. Do you think that that's the only spot in the entire world and like everything else is just like some giant magical void?
Maybe.
Or do they refer to the Last City as maybe that place that was considered mayhem by the Nestors? No opinion? Just maybe?
No opinion.
Okay. All right. Well, as usual, we have a rating system: buy, borrow, or bust. So, Logan, what would you say HIlo Book 9 is?
A borrow.
It's a borrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's a fun read. It's like the 9th book in the series. The art, again, is astounding. It's, crazy bananas, awesome fun to read.
I think you mean crazy mangoes.
Oh, yes. And the story is a continuation from the previous book. I do like the fact that if someone was to borrow this and just pick it up, they can kind of get clued into the storyline by Judd Winick's ability to recap everything in the first chapter or so of the book. Yeah. But yeah, I would agree with you, Logan. I think that HIlo Book 9 is a borrow. So check it out at your local library or.
Although it's a little higher than a borrow, it's like in between borrow and buy. Like I'd borrow it, and then like sometime, like in a long time from now, I might read it again.
Gotcha.
Possibly.
Okay. Well, folks, thanks for listening to this episode of the Comics with My Kids podcast. Check out more episodes at thecomicscornerbox.blogspot.com.
Leave us a rating or review at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Podchaser.
Follow us on Twitter for all of our episode posts and news at Comics with Kids.
Also, check out our Facebook page, Comics with My Kids.
And finally, you can email our show, comicswithmykidspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll put your name in a drawing for free comics. Who doesn't want free comics?
I don't know. We hope you have enjoyed this episode of our summer reading promotion. Check out our website for the full list of this summer's book, and then read along with us and send in your opinion.
Yeah, you can click on the voicemail message link on our website post, or send us an audio clip, and we'll play it right here on the show. Thank you, and have a good night. You don't need anything you want to say?
Good night.
Just good night, not like good night.
Goodbye. Better?
Oh, that's better.
Reggie, which brings us to the start of the book.
It's Reggie. Why do you have a hard time saying Reggie?
I don't.
When we were doing Max Meow, the robot's name was Reggie, and you were saying Reggie. It's like, no, it's Reggie.
Well, because it looks like Reggie.
Well, it's not. It's Reggie. All right.